Hello, everybody. Back again with another alternate history video of the 2016 election between Bernie Sanders and Ted Cruz. So, Ted Cruz, he was the weakest Republican in the 2016 Republican primaries. He was doing the worst against Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. So, this would probably be a Bernie Sanders landslide. And I'll show you the Real Clear Politics average. You'd kind of be shocked. In one poll, he had an 18-point lead, but on average, he was ahead by 13 points. So he wouldn't have won the popular vote by that much. Of course, Republicans would have attacked him, and I do think that CNN poll was definitely an outlier. 57% lead for Sanders probably wouldn't have happened. It would probably be more like 51 or 52%. But I would expect Ted Cruz to at least get into the 40s here. He wouldn't have finished with 38%. So in the popular vote, I think Ted Cruz he would have lost by like 9 or 10 points against Sanders. I think he probably would have got crushed. Again, he was extremely right wing, a lot more right wing than Donald Trump was in the 2016 election. So that made him extremely unelectable here. So again, Sanders wouldn't have finished with a 13-point lead. It probably would have been closer to like 9 points or so. But how would that translate in the electoral college map? It would kind of be a brutal battle for Ted Cruz here. He probably would have got pretty much destroyed, but he still would have done well in most of these conservative states. So let's just go through these states here. Kansas, honestly, it could have been likely Republican. I'm going to leave that as a toss-up for now. In the southern states, this is probably one of Ted Cruz's best states here. I think he would have done good enough to prevent Sanders from making it super competitive, but still would have been decently. So all the safe blue states. So against the traditionally blue ones, really not a shock here which states Sanders would do good in. Okay. So starting off, New Hampshire, Maine at large. Maine second would have been likely blue with Sanders and Ted Cruz matchup. Again, Ted Cruz, he was not super likable in the northeast parts of the states. New Hampshire, he was extremely behind against Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, and same with Maine. I just think Sanders would have done well with rural voters as well. He had that rural appeal back in the 2016 Democratic primary, so I think that kind of would have translated the general election a bit here. Colorado and New Mexico, I don't think Cruz would really have a shot here against Bernie Sanders either. Even the state of Alaska, I could see going down to likely Republican because Ted Cruz is a lot more weaker of a Republican. With Sanders leading by so much in the popular vote here, I'll probably put it like a 7 or a 9-point popular vote victory for Sanders here. We probably would have seen Missouri go down to likely Republican. Georgia would have probably remained as likely Republican. I still think the state just doesn't like populist, less progressive candidates all that much. Still think it would have been stubbornly red. Kansas, however, I could see that going down to likely Republican. Honestly, with Montana, wasn't it like R plus 20 back with Trump and Clinton? I'm pretty sure it was. So, I have to check Kansas too. I'm actually kind of curious about that. I'm just going on my phone here. 2016. Let's take a look. Yeah, Kansas is about 20 points. So would Ted Cruz underperform that badly? I kind of doubt it. I think it still would have been made a safer Republican state. Same with Montana. He isn't that unelectable that we would see those states just go likely are. But Alaska probably would have been one of them. I could see Sanders doing decent here in this state. He won by a really big margin back in the 2016 Democratic primary as well. But in his home state of Texas, he probably still would have won it by a likely Republican margin. Against Sanders, he very progressive candidate. He wouldn't have done that well in the southern states here. But in the Midwestern states like Minnesota, probably would have been safe blue. Michigan probably would have been likely blue. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, all three of these probably would have been likely blue against Ted Cruz here. Even in the states of Iowa and Ohio, I would see these states actually going blue as well against Ted Cruz. I think he was that weak of a candidate. Same with Nebraska second. So Sanders would have probably ended up sweeping the Rust Belt. I could even see Indiana getting competitive here. Again, Ted Cruz, he probably would not have picked Mike Pence's VP like Trump did. So I could see Indiana get a bit more competitive. The state of Virginia probably would have been likely blue still. Even though Sanders had that weakness in the South, Ted Cruz is just that bad of a nominee that I could see it going likely blue still. The state of Nevada, I think it would probably gone lean blue, like a 4-point Sanders victory. I still think Ted Cruz, Arizona, it's debatable, but I still think he would have eked out a narrowish victory here. However, in the state of North Carolina, I think we probably would have ended up seeing it narrowly flip here just because Sanders is up by the popular vote by so much against Ted Cruz. It probably would have ended up flipping, even though Sanders was, I'm pretty sure he was calling himself a socialist, a democratic socialist back then too. I just think it kind of would not have mattered when you have that big of a lead. Like, he would have won the popular vote by probably a 9%, so you could see North Carolina flip and probably even Georgia or Florida narrowly flip blue as well. So pretty much nearly an electoral landslide for Bernie Sanders here. I mean, any other potential states he would flip? Maybe Arizona. Ted Cruz really dropped the ball that much, but I still think he would have eked out a victory here against Sanders. But this is kind of what the electoral map probably would have looked like back in 2016 if it was Bernie Sanders versus Ted Cruz in the election. So Ted Cruz definitely the weakest Republican. The polling shows that Sanders would have crushed him. But other than that, this would have been the map. So let me know what you think of this video in the comments down below. Let me know if you would change any state ratings here. But other than that, if you aren't subscribed to the channel already, highly recommend doing so. And yeah, comment down below any video recommendation ideas. Alternate history, like election predictions, those are on the table as well, because I actually kind of enjoy doing these. It's kind of fun to look back at the polling averages and see, like, how the different candidates like led against each other, or what the electoral college maps would have looked like. But other than that, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.